Hello! Today I'm going to be showing you all of the books that I purchased in the past 3 or so months, all of which I am very excited to read, and I am very excited to show all of them. The amount of books I purchased recently is definitely out of character for me. I do not normally buy this many books, but something happened and all of a sudden I have all these books now and I need to read them. These are all the books I purchased from May to now, middle-ish of July, some of which I purchased from Value Village, a thrift store, or from used bookstores. Some of which I purchased at a discounted price but still brand new from places like Costco, and some of which I purchased entirely brand new from places like Indigo. So I think the way I'm going to do this is first I'm going to talk about the books that I have already read and that I am currently reading, which there's 3 to talk about, and then I'm going to show all the young adult books I purchased new. Then I think I'm going to show all the books I got like secondhand. Then I'm going to show the adult books I got new, and then the books I got from the library yesterday, because I finally renewed my library card after not being able to take out any books from the library for like over a year because I had to physically go in person to do it, but I finally ended up doing that. So I'm just going to start with the book that I'm currently reading, which is Perfect on Paper by Sophie Gonzalez. This is a young adult contemporary novel about a bisexual girl named Darcy who runs a secret anonymous love advice service through Locker 89 until one day someone catches her taking the notes out of the locker, and then he asks her for relationship advice to win his ex back, and then the two of them strike up like a business relationship. Yet at the same time, Darcy is in love with her best friend, Brooke, and so there's a lot of relationship drama going on in here. I feel like I'm talking about this like it's a wrap-up because in my head I've like already almost finished it, but this is really good so far. I haven't been reading many young adult contemporaries at all this year, and so when I started reading this, I was like, this feels like home. And reading this just made me feel really happy, honestly. It's just been such a joy. Yesterday I was reading and I was smiling so much. I am talking too much about this book. It is very good. It is very good so far. I'm very happy that I'm reading young adult contemporaries again, and so I may have picked up some other ones. 1 book down, 21 to go, I think. The next 2 books are the 2 books that I've already read and completed. The Song of Achilles and Local Woman Missing. I did a whole reading vlog for this. I annotated it. It's a good book. Local Woman Missing is a thriller that kicks off with a girl who went missing 11 years ago showing up again after 11 years, and now she is 17 years old, and it is told with multiple perspectives and alternating timelines between the past and present. I really liked both of these books. I'm indecisive about both my ratings for these, but as of right now, this is like a low 4-star, potentially a 3.5. I'm just sticking with the 4, and this is a 4.5 star. Now onto the young adult books I purchased. These are probably the books I'm most excited to read because I haven't been reading much YA this year, and now that I own quite a lot that I'm very excited to read and that I've been wanting to read for a long time because a lot of these are new releases, I think I'm going to get to these very soon. And so the first 2 books are both by Alice Oseman, who is one of my favorite authors. We have Nick and Charlie and Loveless. I'm really excited to read Loveless because I read both Radio Silence and I Was Born for This, but I gave both of those 4 stars, so I'm wondering if this has the potential to be my first 5-star Alice Oseman novel, because I gave Heartstopper 5 stars. I love Heartstopper, which brings me to Nick and Charlie, which is a Heartstopper novella. I've semi-unintentionally started a tradition of rereading Heartstopper every August, so I'm planning on doing that this 3rd year, which keep that in mind because there may be something later on in this video related to that. But my plan is to reread Heartstopper again this year, and then I'm going to read this afterwards because this takes place after the events of Heartstopper. But I'm very excited to go closer to completing my quest to read every single thing Alice Oseman has ever written. So next we have my most anticipated book of the year. It is the one I'm the most excited to read, but I don't anticipate that I'm going to give it a 5-star and love it, but I'm just excited to give it a go. And that book is She's Too Pretty to Burn, which this is a young adult thriller that is inspired by the picture Dorian Gray, and it sounds like something I'm gonna love, but I'm not sure if that's actually gonna happen. I think that this cover is one of my favorite covers of all time. I just love it so much, and I love the art inside of the dust jacket and the back of the book. This came out at the end of March, and I've been wanting to read it ever since, so stay tuned to see how much I actually like this because I'm going in trying to have 0 expectations. Next, we have another one of my most anticipated books of the year, and that is Ace of Spades. It is a young adult thriller that sounds like everything I need. It has dark academia. I cannot wait to read this. This book, I feel like I can say I think I'm going to really like. I feel it in my bones. I feel like this is going to be incredible, but we'll see. The final young adult book I have is Yoke, which I was about to say I'm also very excited to read this. This isn't why I bought the book, but it's what initially piqued my interest when I saw someone else talking about it. But I am obsessed with the cover of this, the hands connecting each other from the front and the back. I think it is Just such a smart decision. I don't know, I love it. This is a story about two sisters that I believe have a rocky relationship at the start and then begin to repair their relationship. I think I've discovered that I really enjoy complicated and somewhat negative sibling relationships. So say it with me, I'm very excited to read this. So now I'm going to talk about all the books I've gotten thrifted or used, but I'm going to talk about these much faster because I think I have less things to say about them. Okay, first two books I got from a used bookstore. Emma by Jane Austen and The Great Gatsby. I don't read classics, but I want to. So I saw these and I got them. Next, Pet Sematary by Stephen King. I got this from Value Village. I love this cover. I love the fact that this is so clearly a used book. And it has a date on it that says it's from December 17th, 1984, which is weird to think about because that is much older than I am. I'm planning to read this close to Halloween in a reading vlog because my first experience with Stephen King did not go very well. I read The Shining. I gave it 2 stars. Wasn't a fan, but I'm willing to give him another shot. So Pet Sematary, I guess, is going to be my second shot. Next is a horror book, and it is Into the Drowning Deep. For some reason, I am so excited to read this, and I think it's solely because I know that it is about killer mermaids. And I don't know much else. Next, Never Let Me Go. I honestly have no idea how to summarize this book. I've just seen it recommended time and time again, so that's primarily why I got it. Next, The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle by Haruki Murakami. I've been wanting to read Haruki Murakami ever since I first found out about him. This just happens to be the first book that I saw of his at Value Village. It is quite long. It is a little bit water damaged. I'm not sure when I'll get to this because I'll admit this is a bit of an intimidating book to me, but one day I will because I really do want to give Haruki Murakami a shot. Next, Where the Crawdads Sing. This is a book that I think I wanted to read when it first came out and like it was everywhere, but then I never bought it, which good on me because I got this from the thrift store. This paperback is so floppy. I never fully understood what people meant when they said like they love floppy books until I compared a book like this to Loveless and Nick and Charlie because this is a brick in a book. But then this is like so much more inviting to just read, I guess, and bend and, you know. Next, I have Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, also got that one thrifted. And when I got that book, I saw this one sitting, not beside it, but like close to it. And I was like, should I get both of them? But what if I don't like Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo? So then I didn't get this one, and then I was beating myself up about it. And then over 6 months after I first got The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, I was thinking to myself, why did I not get Daisy Jones and the Six? Like, it sounds like something I'll like. If I liked The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo so much, why wouldn't I like this? And then that very same day, I went to Value Village and they had this. So I think I'm destined to like this. We'll see. The final book that I've got used is one that I was like this close to buying brand new at one point earlier this year, so I'm very happy that I managed to find this, and that is I'll Be Gone in the Dark, which is a true crime book about the Golden State Killer, a case that I first heard about when it got solved back in, I want to say 2018, but I'm not sure. And it was everywhere because it was a cold case that was solved using DNA testing. I've heard incredible things about this book. I've never read any true crime books, but I listen to a lot of like true crime podcasts or watch true crime YouTubers. So I'm really interested to see how this goes. I recently I saw someone recommending this book to someone and saying that it read more like a thriller than like a nonfiction, which has only piqued my interest more because, as we know, I love thrillers. And this also has an introduction by Gillian Flynn, who is one of my favorite authors, author of my favorite thriller, Sharp Objects. So I'm very interested in seeing what this is like. Now it's time for all of the new adult books I've got, which first one I got from Walmart. Good on me, except it wasn't even discounted, which was a little bit annoying, but it's worth it because it's Mexican Gothic, which is a 2020 release that I really wanted to read when it first came out, but then I didn't get around to it. Horror, gothic, creepy, disturbing. I mean, all horror is disturbing, so I don't know what I mean by that. I'm really intrigued to see what the atmosphere is like in here because I've heard time and time again that the gothic atmosphere in here is really well done. Next is a book that I've been anticipating for a long time, and that book is One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. This is a romance, author of Red, White, and Royal Blue. I don't read much romance, but I want to read more romance. I feel like this is going to be a really fun read, which as romance is intended to be. So perhaps I'm saving this for a time when I need a little bit of a pick-me-up. I have never said that in my life. I don't know what just came over me, but when I read I always have such a challenge with pronouncing this. When I read Red, White, and Royal Blue, I got a fever in the middle of it, and it was quite literally a fever dream, and it took me like 3 weeks to read or something. It took me so long. I don't exactly know what my point was in mentioning that. I guess I'm saying that I don't want to get almost said thriller. Don't want to get a fever while reading this. I just realized that I have 2 books by Taylor Jenkins Reid on here. I mean, I did know that, but I forgot. Anyways, Malibu Rising. Got this from Costco. Almost didn't get it, and I'm glad I did, because then I saw so many people giving this like 5 out of 5 and saying it's like one of the best books of the year. Can we talk about deckled edges? Is that what they're called? No. Whatever these page edges are that are like textured and stuff. Personally, I love books like this. This is like the signature book that I get from Costco. Look What Went Missing is the exact same way. It's like the same, actually, I don't know. That one's not a fake paperback, but it's like the same kind of paperback where it has like the little flap in it. But personally, I really like these pages. I just think it adds a little bit of personality and pizzazz to a book. I also really like books that have this like little flap, but a lot of people don't seem to like this. I don't know why. I think it's cool. I mean, I never read what is underneath it, but I think it adds character. Anyways, back to Malibu Rising. I know that this is about a party, it's about a family. I think it all takes place in one day. Don't quote me on that. I feel like Taylor Jenkins Reid's books are good books to read in like one day. So I'm trying to save both this and Daisy Jones and the Six for like when I have like a lot of time to just get sucked into a book. Because when I read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, I was glued to those pages. I was so sucked into the story. I felt like Evelyn Hugo was a real person, and I'm so happy that other people think that, because I thought I was alone. I really hope that this makes me feel the same way. I hope I get like just absolutely sucked into the story, because I feel like if I like the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo a lot, I'm gonna like Taylor Jenkins Reid's other books. Just makes sense. Next, we have 2 thrillers. I have The Maidens by the author of The Silent Patient, which I did not read. This book, dark academia. Yes, I don't know why I'm hesitating. College professor, ancient Greece. I've heard plenty of mixed reviews for this, but I'm going into this with an open mind. The final book that I've purchased, not borrowed from the library, is The Other Black Girl. This is another thriller I got from Costco. I am obsessed with the blue shininess of this cover. Thriller, publishing house. Other black girl shows up and starts giving threatening notes, I believe, to our protagonist. I honestly have no idea what to expect with this one. I don't know too much about it, but I bought it and I'm going to be reading it. So, oh my god. I feel like my reading earlier this year was not good. No 5 stars in sight, 1 4.5. Just overall my reading this year has been really weird, but at the end of June I started to feel a lot more excited about the books I was reading and just in general spending more time reading. So I think that's conducive to me buying a lot of books that I'm very excited to read and like splurging on new books. Before you go, I just want to quickly show the books I got from the library. First, Spy Family, a manga that I can read online because I have a Shonen Jump subscription now, but that doesn't matter because this is in French. But I feel like this is such a random pick. It's a manga in French from the library. I mean, I guess it'd be weird if I purchased a brand new French book. It doesn't matter. I've read 1 French book so far this year. It was for my French class. Not a good book. The books my school library has are not good ones. But I think especially during the summertime when I'm not like actively doing anything in French, it'll be good for me to read this in French, which should not be a challenge at all because I'm fluent enough in French for me to be like totally fine reading books. This might take me a little bit longer than if I were to read it in English, but I'm not going to be like not understanding what the hell's going on and having to like use a dictionary every page. Then I got the first 2 volumes of Our Dreams at Dusk, which is a manga that I've been wanting to read for a long time. I'm hoping that I like the first one enough to actually want to read the second one. These are in English. These are in English, not in French. Next, I was kind of foreshadowing talking about these books earlier. I have the first 2 volumes of Heartstopper in French, in physical form, because the past 2 times I've read Heartstopper, it's been online. I need to get physical copies in English so badly, but I haven't. I think my plan is to read the first 2 volumes in French, like physically, and then I guess read volumes 3 and 4 online in English. And then my plan is to, after reading those, read Nick and Charlie. I love this story so much. I will read it in German next if I have to. I'm currently learning German, but my French is like 10 million times better than my German. I'm much more comfortable reading in French. I'm gonna be able to read these like totally fine, no problem. But does that mean I'm fluent? I don't know. This is a story that I've read multiple times before and I'm very familiar with, so I think literally, even if I didn't understand any of the French, I'd be able to figure out what's going on, also because it's a graphic novel. And then the final book I want to talk about is a 2021 release that has been on my radar for quite some time and that I've been interested in reading, but I haven't purchased brand new. And that book is The Near Season. This is a young adult magical realism book, I believe, or like contemporary with some fantastical elements, about two people who both had an experience of sexual assault at a party, and it's about them trying to heal from their trauma, I believe. I've never read anything by this author, and I'm really excited to. I've been aware of their books for quite some time, so I'm excited to give them a shot. Here they are. I know I already said that, but just here they are. I'll say it one more final time. I am very excited to read all of these books, and I'm looking forward to adding them to my bookshelf, which may or may not be in danger of being completely full, but that's a problem for future me, who will have read many of these books, perhaps one day, every single one of them. And with that, I say thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.